Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
We're live.
We're live, and well,
For us.
here. Yeah, we're alive.
This is Lori.
This is Jackie. Hi. Welcome. It is again early in the day a little bit.
Yeah.
After a late night of wandering around New York trying to do sets.
I just brushed my teeth.
Congratulations. I just took an exciting, I went up to Yankee Stadium.
You did?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Yankee
I'm
Stadium.
going to move
one
over
day.
next to you.
Please do. I wondered
Okay.
why you were over there.
Okay.
I know that sometimes you're distant.
Usually it's emotionally. I try to keep a nice wall between myself and all humans, especially my son.
No expectations, please. You know, my father used to deliver babies in the Navy. He was a medic for the Marines.
Wow.
And he said, "Yeah, I spent most of the time delivering babies." And I
Well,
said, Did you ever?
there's a lot of babies in the Navy? How,
Well, he
during
was-
your dad's era?
During my dad's era, on purpose, which was in between Korea and Vietnam.
Yeah.
My father's a huge fan of not going to war. And so he had joined the Navy. There are many things he said. First of all, he said, "Did you know that the Marines get their medics from the Navy? I didn't." And that's how he ended
You
up
know
in
what?
the Marines.
I never considered it, and I never want to think about it again.
Well, there you go. And then, so he spent most of his time at 29 Palms,
Yeah.
in San Diego, outside of San Diego. He said he mostly delivered babies and dealt with car accidents.
okay. I gotcha.
And I said, so I'm the youngest of six. I said, did you ever deliver any of us? And he said, no, I wouldn't want to create the illusion that I'd be there for you.
I like him.
I cleaned that up. Anyway, so we are in New York, though. So you know what? We forgot to talk about that crazy lady at the Viper Room. Remember
Wait.
me, you, Jen Kober, and Eleanor Kerrigan?
Oh, my God.
At the Viper Room.
Okay.
On Sunset Boulevard
Yes.
a week and a half ago.
Right.
Right after we taped the back-to-backs.
Right. The either a dancer
Or
she
just
had-
a lady who wandered in from Sunset Boulevard.
You know,
a caricature.
Yes, yeah, and she. Oh, that's right. You and I were walking out, and she
Right.
comes up to you and says,
No, Eleanor.
Eleanor. Oh, Eleanor. She comes up to Eleanor. I liked you. You were my favorite. And you and I were like, hey, bitch, we're right here.
Oh,
what's
love
wrong
that.
with you?
Why did I get involved? I was psyched that there was. You actually said to her, "Hey, you don't say that," and I knew you were kidding. She didn't know you were kidding, and but you were like, "You don't." Say, well, the rest of us are right here.
Yeah.
And she had giant, perfect double D boobs and a
Yes.
half T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
And it's Jen Kober, me, you, and then Eleanor Kerrigan in
Yeah.
this tiny corridor,
Right.
And this woman is standing in your face, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to diffuse it by saying, "Hey, we're trying to take a selfie. If you could, we're trying to take a picture." And Cobra goes, "Yeah, out of the way, boobs. Out of the way, boobs." And then she lifted up her shirt.
Yeah.
And she had the weirdest. It would look like it was a perfectly symmetrical with a spigot of a nipple.
Yeah.
It was crazy looking. And Cobra, mesmerized,
Jen Kober, we might add, is gay.
is gay, and out of her mind, clearly was like reaching for this woman's breast, and I hit her and I go, "Hey, that was expensive," and so it was.
I'm shocked that anyone goes braless for even more than a minute. I'm like,
Well-
you're out of your house?
Well, and
I put on a bra to answer the door for
that's
you.
because you were born with those. And the thing is nature will get involved. That was an artificially created situation that comes with hydraulics.
So,
But that was my favorite story that we forgot to tell last
that's
time.
right. So here we are. Now you're the one of the few people that have seen both sides of my life now.
Right.
'Cause you're in my apartment.
I know, and just
in Harlem.
think, just 7-8 months ago, we didn't know each other very
know.
well.
I know.
And now, 31 hours later, we're friends. Yay!
My son calls you Aunt Jackie.
Yay! I gave him a whoopee cushion that I got.
You did, and it's been put to use. And then when the whoopee
he's
cushion
not.
isn't working, he's making fart noises on his own. And that's in addition to actual farts. So thanks on 10 levels for that.
no problem. You know, he's got to learn how to write, and you got to start at the beginning. And he's
Beginning and the end. He's already got a closer.
He's got a closer.
He just
That's the
needs
closer.
44 more minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. So here we are in New York, and then
Yeah.
I was going to tell you about 2 more things about Montreal.
Okay.
Is first of all, and I had heard this from Canadian comics in LA.
Yeah.
Who were like, hey, the guy who owns Yuck Yucks in Canada has a monopoly.
I've heard that since I started comedy.
Right,
that
since
there
the
was,
12th century,
You either
since
were
the
in the
80s.
Yuck Yucks or not, and if you weren't, you were fucked.
I heard that too, but I didn't know the length of it. Like he genuinely, like I think what maybe there's 10,
Yeah.
right? So maybe that's 10 weeks of work, which of course
That's 20. If you're a feature, that's
right,
20 weeks of work.
That's 20 weeks
at
of work,
least.
but it shoots you in the foot comedically because then your comics aren't getting enough stage time, right?
Right.
Because get this, if you work for someone that isn't Yuck Yucks,
Mm-hmm.
you have to give him 10%.
What?
Yeah, that was a huge reveal that I just found out.
That's crazy. That's legal there?
I don't know. They have, I guess, because healthcare's free. I don't know why.
There's some trade-off.
It's like-
That's why we're not all going
yeah,
there.
somebody was telling me, they were like, yeah, I did $100 gig. And he was like, yeah, I need $10 from it.
What the fuck?
He's like, you're kidding, right? And he goes, no. And this fuck. And so,
Wow.
right. So, and the crazy thing is Maria's accepting that award.
Yeah.
And she mentions it. She's like, I know that this sitcom and fame could all go away in a minute, but as long as I'm up here, let me just tell you that regular trench comics working in the
perfect.
trenches,
Yeah.
They're getting screwed up here. You might want to look into it. She didn't put it like that. She said, I understand Monopoly's has Yuck Yucks has a monopoly. You might want to fix that. That's that's all she said. And I was like, oh, good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then the other thing, you didn't happen to see the roast battle on Comedy Central, did
I
you?
haven't watched it yet. I
neither.
love Mike Lawrence, though. He's
I
hilarious.
saw him last night. He destroyed Ralphie May. He literally, and Ralphie May, and he told me last night, because Mike is a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
In addition to being just a monster of a writer.
Yeah, and he writes for Amy Schumer. He's Emmy nominated.
Black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually tagged one of my jokes
Oh,
that I did
really?
on Conan. Remember?
Oh.
Everybody was tagging that Indian casino frozen food thing.
Yeah.
He came up with he came up with a tag on the end of it, the Sacagaweedies. That was his. That was Mike Lawrence. And but so I see him last night, and I was like, wow, because he's done roast battle a bunch of times. He said, well, I always do. Whenever I do roast battle, I call the person,
Yeah.
or I talk to him, and I'm like, what's off limits?
Oh, that's
It's
great.
incredibly sane of him.
Yes, because then you're not worried about a joke being too
much.
mean.
Right.
Yeah.
And, he said that he was with a previous battle that he did. The guy was like, I'd love it if you didn't attack my girlfriend. And Mike was like, okay, then please, I am a huge fan of you not attacking my wife.
Yeah.
And the two of them were like, okay. They shook hands. They went their certain
Yeah.
ways and then called each other fat and short and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so he does that with Ralphie May. And he says, is there anything off limits? And Ralphie May said to him, you couldn't hurt me more than TMZ.
Oh, Ralphie should have said my weight.
He should have said.
You can hit me anywhere, but please don't mention my weight.
His closing joke was about his weight because Ralphie was doing jokes, I guess.
Yeah.
He said that his breath smelled and
Yeah.
it was like joke. It was
He
weird.
was doing jokes?
They were like sort of like joke insults.
Okay.
And but that was one of them, and the other one was that Steve Rana ZZ dude,
Oh, the
9/11
guy? Yeah.
and
Who's
then
actually not the 9/11 guy?
Right.
The
And
guy
he-
who lied about being
and
in
he-
the towers on 9/11.
Yes, so feel free to look that up. And proving again that he's a classy guy.
Yeah.
He was battling Sam Morril.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's funny.
He's really
Yes.
funny, and he is. And this was cut out. The only reason I'm telling the story is because it was cut out of the
You saw it
broadcast. No, but I heard from 4 different
Okay,
comics
okay.
and a couple of young comics on the. And he did 2 jokes because Sam goes out with Beth Stelling.
Yeah, right.
He did 2 jokes about Beth's rape.
Oh.
And guess what? They weren't funny enough to be fucking talking about Beth Stelling's. Please do not do that, right? Yeah, fuck you is what is where that was.
And so, how did the audience?
Something to the effect, Sam, you outed your girlfriend's rapist on Instagram, but then he threatened to sue you, so you took your post down. So I guess he fucked 2 pussies.
Ooh.
Not funny enough. Not funny enough.
No.
It's just a, hey, you're a pussy joke.
And it's
inappropriate.
It's calling a rape a fuck when
Yes.
it's actually a rape.
When it's actually an attack, a
Yes.
violent crime. So that's the gossip I've got.
Wow.
Those are the 2 yeah, whatever.
Did because it's weird. Sam's like a really dark joke writer too.
Right.
But his stuff is on. I don't know. You can. It still has to line up.
Yeah.
And not just be. It has to be funny and make you go at the same time,
Yes.
like make you cringe
Yes.
inside and be funny. It
Sort of that
lines up.
realization with a laugh.
Yes,
Not
And then,
just
not
shock
just they're
jock.
like yeah. There's an art.
It turns out
there's an art to joke writing,
Right, and
there's an art
it's
to
not
dark
easy.
joke writing.
Yes.
and you can't just go fuck, cunt, pussy, and be
Yes.
I'm a badass now. Like it just there's
I mean,
an art to it.
keep
I
writing,
have to
everybody.
say.
Please keep
Yeah.
writing your dark jokes. I'm not saying don't
So
keep
did
writing
Sam
your...
beat him?
Yeah.
Good.
And destroyed him, quite honestly.
Really?
And, yeah.
Did
and
you bring up the 9/11 stuff?
Yeah. And I guess he had asked, he said, I'm going to bring that up. And Steve was like, do. Which, quite honestly, it was the best thing for Steve's career to be on the roast battle.
Yeah.
Because it will, if he could take that joke,
Yeah.
then he should get work again, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And
Doesn't he still get work?
yeah, he still gets work, but people are all like,
He's
ew.
not a female who's never done that before.
Right.
He's not a female headliner who's never lied about being a 9/11. Why
who's
would
made a mistake? Yes, he's a man. He's a
Yeah,
white man.
He's
who's
a
made
man who
mistake.
lied about the worst thing ever. Of course, he's
Yes.
still going to get work.
Yeah, of course he's going to get
Okay.
work. Yeah, like that Adam guy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, wait.
But the guy who attacked the waitress.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Okay.
America.
I think Adam guy is enough to not
That's
have
plenty.
a suit for libel.
Yeah. Let's. And he was just charged. And so-
Oh.
yeah, he was charged and acquitted because the judge said that they were both drunk, and so it didn't count.
I think we're 10 years away from that not being acceptable to judges. You know, it seems
Right.
like the legal system takes a while to figure out. Like,
Which in many cases is good, except for when you're in a conservative 10-year. But sometimes it'll hold on to 10 years of liberal.
But I mean, like this judge with the Stanford swimmer, Brock Turner,
Right.
Like that guy. There's, they're trying to get him out of office, and it's. I think that
It's almost
before
working.
this. He was probably would have no idea that he had done
Even-
anything wrong, and he probably still doesn't think he did anything wrong. But it's the awareness of like, oh, if the person's too drunk to consent or they don't deserve to be raped. It's like
Right. You don't get
How is that?
right. You're
How
not
is
going to
that?
die if you don't expel your semen, gentlemen. That is a talk about a romance novel trope.
Just do it yourself in a trash can. Why do you have to do it?
Reintroduce yourself
why
to
did
your
you drag
hand.
a woman into it?
Yes.
Reintroduce yourself to your hand, please. That's
Jim,
the title.
This is oh, fair enough. I
Yes.
should write things down.
Reintroduce to your. We'll try to remember that.
I don't have a pen. So New
I don't
York,
feel like
how's
getting
the
up.
sets going?
Good. Last night. Okay.
You did Gotham, right? Didn't you do Gotham?
It was I had an interesting night that kind of went up and up. So
up and up.
I'm gonna take a few details out of one story.
Okay.
Because I think
Nobody needs them.
yeah. But I was doing a show and like a little tiny venue, and somebody, it was run by a comic, and she was newer and stuff, and it's just like a new show that she's doing, and she had, I guess she had asked somebody to post about the show during the show, like on Twitter and stuff like that.
Oh, right,
which is
right.
fine.
Yeah.
But that person sat in the front row right in front of me, was just head down, on his cell
Texting.
phone the whole time. And I have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
I just see that, and I'm like, I let it go for a couple of jokes, and then I'm like, what the fuck? And I
Yeah.
started asking, and she got kind of defensive, and she's like, well, so-and-so asked me to post about the show, and she put me here, and
She put her there?
well, rookie
Maybe.
mistake.
Yes.
young,
Rookie mistake.
young early
Oh,
comic.
Early comic not knowing.
So the
everyone's
woman who
alive.
had that
Yes.
idea, rookie mistake,
Right,
and she
yeah.
was super apologetic afterwards.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
Live
That's
and
what I
learn.
meant.
And
Yes,
live and learn.
exactly. So, and maybe if these are younger comics, they're so used to. If they're just performing in front of other comics who aren't paying attention, that's what they're used to.
Oh, right.
You know what I
They,
mean? Like,
they don't even register
Yeah,
that
we're-
someone's on their
yeah.
on their phone.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
used to full attention.
Yeah, we
of
want
the
a
front row at
paid
least.
audience. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So so it's like you can demand that your audience not be on cell phones.
Yeah.
That's my message to young comics.
Yes.
You can expect that, and you can cause a scene if you want to.
Yeah,
in my
you're-
opinion.
Right.
So, and people should know. People just regular audience members should know
who raised
it's
you?
really rude.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
Okay.
do your parents let you be on the phone at the dinner table?
Every time you go to a movie theater, they do a so like know you're not supposed to be doing that.
Yes.
Okay. So the woman got angry with me.
Yeah.
And so the booker actually. So then it was kind of awkward, and the booker brought somebody to sit in the seat and moved the woman. It was
Yeah.
sort of like this weird exchange, and I just kind of commented on it, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And then I was going to go back. And then the woman who was posting goes, tell funny jokes. Why don't you tell some good ones? And I said, I was, but you were texting. Well, tell some better ones. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
What
Why
just
am I
happened?
being attacked by somebody who's part of the show?
Part of the show.
So then that goes away, and the rest of the show set goes fine. And then afterwards, the booker said, I'm so sorry. And I go, what? Who was
What?
that? Why was she?
Why?
Why does she turn into an asshole? She's a comic. I'm like, she's a comic? You fucking let me at her. I'm going to stab her face in half. What the hell? Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm like, it's fine. It ended up being funny and stuff, but
Right. Some of the sets are
probably what you don't want to attack your fellow comics
Right.
or call you out on doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Okay, so then the second set was it was at the Broadway, and there was barely any audience there, so I'm like, I'm not going to record this.
right.
Of course,
The greatest.
I'm tagging things left and right. God damn it! And they didn't have much battery left, so I'm like, I
fair
gotta
enough.
plug it in. And then, but it was a small crowd, and then the final set was at Comedy Juice at Gotham.
Okay.
And I wore tennis shoes all night because my fucking feet. I think I have some sort of thing on my heel, like a spur or something.
Right, okay.
My feet are killing me. My left heel. So I kind of felt like I look like a mom anyway. Like I
Yeah.
was in my
Right, 'cause you had
tennis
sneakers
shoes.
on
I'm
and-
ready to pick up the kids from practice, and then I get to Comedy Juice, sold out
Right.
with beautiful people.
Oh, good
it's
Lord.
like attract, and everyone's
Because Gotham is right in the middle of that.
Oh God! And Gotham is when it's sold out. It's huge. It's a packed room.
The room must seat like 350, right?
I
Or
don't know.
320.
It's gigantic.
It's 100 more than I usually like, but if
Yes.
it's full, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I get in there, and Sean Patton's like murdering, and then Dean Del Rey murdering, and I'm next, and I'm like, I realized I haven't performed in front of a large packed house like this,
Yeah.
behind
In a couple of months,
after
right?
killer comics in
Yeah.
a long time. But it was fine. It
Yeah,
turned
of
out to be
it
fine.
turns out.
But
It's
it was
not a
it was
hobby
just
or
an
a career.
odd scaling
Lieberman.
up. You start where a female comic is telling you to tell better jokes, and then you end following Dean Del Rey at Gotham.
Right. Yeah. Avi Lieberman texted me and said that it was
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
Because he was there as well.
Yeah.
I did a bar in Park Slope where before I had a lovely dinner that served me water out of a ball jar, like I'm some sort of hillbilly, and then and an amazing, like it was a pollo. It was one of those rice pollo shredded,
Yeah.
whatever. And it was lovely. But Park Slope is nice, except for to get around Brooklyn. It's killing it. I was thinking about it yesterday. It would be like if I lived in. When I live in Los Angeles, I'd be like, sure, I'll do a set in Malibu, and then I'll drive to Silver Lake, and then I'll go down to Hermosa.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's
it was 7 hours of me trying to get to it. It was, and finally, I just give up, and I'm like, Uber, just here's another $30, Uber.
yeah,
And so.
yeah.
But that first set was great. It was Matt Kirshen was there,
Oh, cool.
and it was really fun. And the young comic guy Mike was hosting. He was funny,
Yeah.
and there were 30 people there.
Yeah.
and it was it was a really nice room. It's Dizzy's on Fifth, is what it's called.
Oh my God! When I first moved here, I lived in Park Slope my first year,
Okay.
and Dizzy's had just opened.
Yeah, it was, and the food looked good. But
They're doing comedy there.
there's a back room that has chairs and tables, and it's beautiful.
Oh,
It's really
cool.
nice. And then I was supposed to go do hot soup.
Yeah.
But the Uber guy, he lost me. And then so I was like, man,
He didn't pick you up, or
He
you-
didn't pick me up.
Okay.
He was 9 blocks away. The app didn't work.
Oh.
And I canceled it, but they asked, was it his fault or your fault? And I took blame for it because Uber doesn't.
Uber, they
gouge their workers
Yeah,
so bad.
I took a Lyft, and the guy was talking about Uber because he used to work for Uber,
Yeah.
and he said they're awful. Like if you're an Uber driver and you get 4 stars, it's as if you got 0 stars. And once you stop getting 5 stars every single time, they take you out of rotation, so you can't pick up riders. And any asshole could give you 4 stars or
Right.
0 stars because they felt like it.
Right, and then and they added like some sort of questionnaire to the 5-star thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's 5 stars, and then what did you like? And then there's 6 choices. And I used to work at Kinko's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I don't press that they did every single one of these things, I bet you they get docked somehow.
Yeah.
And so I'm not doing the thing anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm
That's
not.
Mia.
Hi, Mia.
Hi, Mia. This is Jackie.
Nice to
Mia's
meet you.
my roommate.
Awesome. It's yeah, and so anyway, so Uber charged me $5 because I canceled it and I took the blame for it, and then I had to get another Uber who could
Wow.
find me, and that guy found me and he brought me, and I just went straight to the stand.
Wow.
But my first set was great. I've been
So
trying to.
what did you miss? You missed hot soup?
I missed hot soup, which is it's sort of a kind of a cool kid kind of thing. It's sort of like Meltdown or
Missing a gig, man.
I hate missing a gig.
Hurts.
And then Friday we're supposed to do
The stand together, right?
this. No, we're doing the thing in Brooklyn. Remember the Filthy show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, getting
and
there really late.
Judah Friedlander texted me yesterday and asked me if I'd open for him in the Hamptons, which is money.
Yeah.
And I've been blowing money on Ubers.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's like, I don't know if it's going to happen. So what do you think the etiquette on this is? I want to tell that lady in Brooklyn, I'm like, hey, I might have a money gig in Hamptons. I've also never been to the Hamptons. I've seen that TV show on USA. Anyway, but I should warn her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Just let her.
Just let her know that
Yeah.
Judah Friedlander might have a money gig for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I need the money,
Yeah.
it turns out.
People understand
yeah,
money.
I'm an adult human
Yeah.
being. But then the stand, Christian Finnegan
Yeah.
did 10 minutes on politics, and it reminded me of right after 9/11.
Yeah.
There were 2 kinds of people who were doing political jokes.
Yeah.
There were the ones that were walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
And trying to talk about real issues.
Yeah.
And there were sort of road dudes
Yeah.
who would end their set with the national anthem. And literally, there were 2 guys I saw do that
Yeah.
at the Mall of
Oh
America
my
at Knuckleheads. And Christian was doing that eggshell thing where he's like, I am fucking doing jokes about Hillary. I am doing jokes about Trump. I am doing jokes about Bernie. And he did 10 minutes.
I'd
on
love
it.
to. We shared an office when we wrote
Tough
for
crowd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling
He's
me
so
that.
funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
And
he's his wife
Yeah.
Cambry. She
QED or?
yeah, QED. She opened her own. Like I felt you could.
comedy theater in Queens.
Yes, in is it Long Island? It's not Long Island City.
It's right by Long Island
Yeah.
City.
But like I followed her on Facebook as she was she did all this work herself. She laid the floors down. She painted everything. Like she
Yeah.
just converted
She's
it.
crafty.
Yes, and now it's like a very successful
Right. I'm
venue.
doing that tomorrow. I'm doing
Yeah.
a QED and then Creek in the
They're
Cave.
like a really neat couple, and they're
Yeah.
both neat separately. But
Yes.
I'm like happy that they're
that it worked.
a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
It gives you hope.
They're just
Yeah.
It's like okay, you can have a neat, quirky life if you're a comic.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, and he has a show with Sherrod Small on A&E that I haven't watched. But
Is it called Black and White?
Yes, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then who went up after? Oh, Bonnie McFarlane.
Oh,
Yeah, Bonnie McFarlane went up, and
Did she have Raina with her?
She didn't.
Okay.
She didn't. She was just hanging out.
I told
and
her to bring Raina to. We might
do.
Thursday. We're both at the stand. So
I'm at the stand again tonight.
Okay.
So,
I think I am too.
oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a 7:00 in Queens.
Okay.
I think it's tonight's actually QED, and then Creek in the Cave, and then the stand.
Oh, cool.
So
That's a good night.
that's a good night. That's a good
Man,
night.
that 7 train is fast to Manhattan too.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So don't give up. Don't give up on the subway system.
One stop from Jackson and Vernon. One stop you're in Manhattan, and
Right.
then like 2 more stops you're at Times Square. I guess I'd been to Queens that much, and it just seems like it's way the fuck out of the way. but
Everything
it's
seems
so
kind of far,
quick.
but everything's quick, and
Yeah.
it's very straightforward. Just get on another train.
Yeah.
And it just takes me a couple of days to get used to it. And
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here for months.
Yeah.
I've been here for 3 days. And
That's what New York will do to you.
and that was the other thing is a couple of comics in the last couple of nights were like, New York comics do it this way and LA comics do it that way. And I was
Yeah.
like, is there a competition I didn't know about? And
LA is completely unaware of all competition.
Of all
it doesn't know the Bay
competition.
Area hates it. It
Right.
doesn't know New York comics are like, you fucking hack.
right, it's you guys hire writers to write for you, and I was like, I don't know anyone who does that.
No.
But okay.
But maybe a couple of headliners do.
Right,
But
and people possibly who can afford it.
Yeah.
I certainly have to rack my own brains. It
Yes.
turns out.
Yeah.
And but it did make me laugh so hard. I was like, yeah, I don't know who you're in competition with, but
That's
it isn't
funny.
me.
Yeah.
I good luck. Yeah. Let me figure out. I had one other story. I can't remember. What do you got?
remember you sent me that email about that heckle situation at a road club? With
No. Which one?
you sent me an email. Somebody in the
Oh,
audience had been.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Somebody heckled somebody. What the hell was that?
It was at a club in Colorado. I don't want to give away too many details.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so, yeah, it was I think it was one of the Comedy Works.
Yeah.
He put it on
Okay, you're going.
Facebook.
Oh, you're going.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was on Comedy Work. It was on Facebook, so
Okay.
it's not. And I heard from the local comic,
Yeah.
who asked the staff about it, and they said, "Oh, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
it wasn't the comic's fault." Which the way the story came out, I was like, "It's half his fault."
You were contacted by a member of the audience.
Yes.
Who
was
have
like,
gone
"You
on,
should look into
I have
this."
gone on record. I never believe the audience.
Well-
they are constantly wrong.
Right.
First, I always believe the woman when she says she was raped. I never
yeah.
believe the audience when they say the comic attacked
You know why?
them.
Because we don't live in the crucible, you fucking idiots. And
What?
It's do you ever read the crucible? Okay, never
Maybe
mind.
not, but what
The crucible is
just the
it was
trial
those girls
without a jury.
Yeah, the
Yes,
girls
okay.
who set up the woman to be
Okay.
a witch. Anyway, so
yes.
yeah.
I mean, and I think I've even said this, but how many times has the audience come up to you after the show and told you how much they love your joke, and then the joke was done by another comic on the show, not
Right.
even the same gender or race, and you're like, how do you think that's my joke?
Right.
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm from Dubai? I don't. I understand what you're saying, but you're killing me. Yeah, I also did the Whiplash thing. Have you ever done that? You've done Whiplash, right? That was super fun.
The last time I did Whiplash, I didn't do very well. I
Oh.
think, but I psyched myself out. I watched too much of the show early on, and I was
Yep.
like, oh,
Somebody's
and I was sick of my
destroying it.
jokes.
Well, the
and
sick
then-
of your jokes will do it more than
Yeah.
anything.
Okay, but anyway.
So the Colorado thing
Okay.
is, I guess, a guy in the audience said something. The comic who might have been in a bad mood. You know, I mean, every day isn't sunshines and fucking flowers.
Well-
because I guess he hit the guy a little too hard, and then the guy got sad, and then the audience.
Too bad,
Right.
guy.
This one audience
Too
member,
bad.
right? This one audience member was like, he hit him too hard, and then the audience turned into a mob, and they were on the comic side.
They're always a mob.
They are,
We're
by
always-
definition.
Here's the thing: like, there's this idea that are you getting a phone call?
For my brother who just got to town,
Turn the phone over.
I'm going to turn the phone over. Thank you.
So there's this idea that comics have this invincibility. All we have is a mic. We're surrounded by
Like 200 people to
200
2,000 people.
Yeah, that could turn on us on any second and ruin our lives. So if you
Exactly.
think we're invincible, all we have is our mic and words.
Not even a guitar, you
Yeah.
guys. There's nothing protecting us from the audience.
Whether the comic looks like they're an alpha and they're the king of everything, if the crowd turns, they're fucked.
Right.
So we're actually. You never believe it, but we're way more vulnerable than you as the audience are.
Well, now
so
why
don't
would you
act
tell them
like
that?
you're being
Yeah.
attacked. You are the army. We're the one general that can be
Right. That's why we're in the back of the room. And so, go
You guys are
forward.
closest to the exits, all right? It's
Right.
It's an unfair fight. That's why.
That's why sometimes people lose their temper.
Yeah.
And because they're like, because
And
they're
you're
scared.
always writing. You're writing this fine line of I have to smash this rebellion. And then
Yeah.
move on, or it doesn't get smashed, or you smash it too hard, and then people get angry.
Right.
You never know. You can never tell if you're doing. All you have to go is how the rest of the audience is responding.
Right.
And I was at I'll go back to
Yeah.
your thing, but I was at a when I was in San Diego, first of all, I took an Uber to an unpaid spot. Okay.
That's
I'm out
our
20.
careers.
I'm already a little annoyed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I get up on stage. There's 2 women up front texting, talking, just as if it's a cafe. And
Like you're a band.
And I'm looking at them, and I always try to give somebody a little bit of time,
Yeah.
and I'll just, and so I start doing a chunk. The
'Cause
rest
maybe
of the
they'll finish whatever they needed
Yes.
to say.
The rest, maybe they'll figure out that they're not
Out
in
of
the
their
barn.
minds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rest of the audience is listening, and everything's going well. And if I had the ability to ignore it, it would have been fine. But I don't, and I don't want to. I didn't spend $20 to get to a set so I could ignore 2 fucking cunts who are texting in the front row.
Yeah, that's insane.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
my mindset. So then I start, but I don't go in hard like that. I sort of I go in.
Well, there's levels.
I
You
like
gotta
to let
go in
people
early.
hang themselves.
Yes.
So I start talking, and then we're back and forth, and then she said something. Sometimes an audience member will say something that turns you into a bull, like
Just drives you nuts.
all of a sudden that person becomes a red flag,
Yeah.
and you're going to murder them
Yes.
as hard as you can. And
Yes.
so she said something about, what are you, like 60 or 70? And I was like, oh, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy you. And then I started to, and now the audience is with me completely the
Right,
whole
because
time.
you set it up. Because you have to, there's 4
You
steps
have to let them ruin you a
yes.
little bit, and so the audience is on your side.
Exactly.
And then, so that happened, and
them ruin you.
and then she ended up walking out, and she left with her boyfriend, and I was telling them they were going to have, I said,
Terrible
you're done. You're
sex.
going to have a child with autism. I'm totally scientifically unproven, by the way. But I was throwing every fucking thing I could in my head
Right.
at her.
Yep.
And she's getting more and more upset. And
Yep.
then she finally left, and her table left. And
I love that you are not the hero of that story.
no. But you know what? At some
But at
point,
a certain point,
you pushed me, and you don't think so? I'm the vulnerable one
Right.
here, and I have to protect my territory.
which is why I'm usually on the side of like
And
a
you're a
Michael
dumb cunt.
Richards.
Yes.
Yes. Like
And by the way, I wasn't on the side of Michael Richards.
no. In
because
the
he's
end,
not
I
a
was
stand-up.
not. Right. But he's the example that everyone knows.
Yes, and the only example of when it went
Horribly
it went
awry.
wrong, and
Yes.
it was his fault. But
Right.
also, he's
And
not
he
a
went-
stand-up.
And he went racial, which I would not have done.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
I will kill your children. I will burn your village.
Yeah, I'll make your children autistic.
Right. I told a guy that he was going to go home and fuck his toddler one time. It wasn't fair. It wasn't right. But
How do we know it
snapped.
wasn't true, though?
Well, we don't know. But he said, hey, that's too far. And you're like, you're right, which is why you have to shut up.
Look what you did to me. You always got to blame them. That's when it's fine to be the abuser. You look what you did to me. You made me do this. I didn't want to say this about you. But so they left, and they didn't pay their tab. And I'm like,
That
that's
is the
exact
worst.
total proof that they were assholes.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
I'm more than vindicated.
Yeah.
But the rest of the audience was with me.
Sure.
So it was
Because
okay.
she hung herself. Yeah.
They could have turned because it got really mean.
Yeah.
It got incredibly mean. But
Yes.
I guess it was mean enough to be funny because they were still there. But it was
Right.
like on the razor's edge.
Yes.
So I don't know what happened with this guy, but it sounds like he went to the other side.
He might, and I've done that too, where I've
Yes,
hit
I
too
have.
hard, too
Me too.
quick,
Me
and then
too.
the audience is not on your side.
Nope.
If you hit too quick, there's 4. In my opinion, there's 4 levels of heckler.
Yeah.
There's, hey, you're doing a thing that's annoying.
Yeah.
Please stop that. Second level is, hey, you're doing a thing that's annoying. I'm going to make fun of you for doing that.
Yeah.
Third level is, you're not very bright. You're still doing that thing that's annoying me. And fourth level is where they should be ejected.
Yeah.
Like a staff member should come, take them away.
I say out on level 1, but you're
Well, right. Well, the thing is by third level, everyone's on my side.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
it's like you have to eject this person, or I have to have them leave in tears, and I have to get
Yes.
walked, or I have
Yeah.
to get walked to my car.
Yeah.
One of those two things has to happen because I can't take it. I
Yeah.
can't. It isn't fair. It isn't cool.
Everyone, all these people, they got.
I'm at
maybe
work.
they got dressed up. Who
Yeah.
knows? But they got sitters. They want to see
They
you at
spent
your best.
$12.
And if you're distracted,
Yes.
you're not at your best.
Right.
You know. And
Trying
so
to tell a joke.
Right. I've got prepared material, and it's not. It's about the rest of the show too. You know.
Right. You know what? Last night I was watching a couple of sets, and a lot of comics everywhere. It's not just here in New
Yes.
York, but they were talking. They were doing a lot of crowd work, and
Right.
if you do crowd work, you have to watch the other comics.
because
Oh, yeah.
you have to know where everybody's from and what's been already asked and what's already been. And nobody had done that in the two shows that I watched in the last couple of days. And I'm like, no, just that's why I don't have to watch the comics, I guess.
Yeah, you just start telling jokes.
I have material I need to work through. Like last night at the stand.
I think the audience is relieved when someone doesn't. They just go right into their act in a way, because I do think that's a habit here of.
That's because you and I go into our act, and I mean, so the people who do crowd work must think that the audience likes crowd work, right?
It depends. It totally depends on the act, but
Yeah.
I think it's good for especially in New York, for the host too, because
Yeah.
you do have people that are New Yorkers, and then you've got
Tourists.
the Netherlands next to them, and all this kind of stuff. I hear Minecraft. That's my son taking Minecraft to the bathroom.
Well, thank God.
Okay, and
You never stop
so-
building.
and so you kind of want to get a sense of what the crowd is, and
Yeah.
it's good for the crowd to feel kind of connected
Part
a
of.
little bit,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
My kid's loud in the bathroom.
Okay.
Hold on. Just wait a second.
Okay. I'm going to tell a story while you go talk to him. That's what I do on the Dork Forest. My name's Jackie Cation. We were talking briefly about guitar comics. You know what? I may save this. And everybody, by the way, in New York loves Laurie Kilmartin. I tell people that I'm doing a podcast with her, and they're like, "Oh my God, Laurie Kilmartin! I love Laurie Kilmartin." Oh, she's back. Let's stop talking
What
about
lies
her.
you telling? Okay.
I'm telling lies that you are beloved.
All right. I told him, shut the fuck up, or I'm walking you out of this apartment.
I heard none of
Level
no
one
cursing.
heckling.
Level 1, you were just like, yeah. And don't forget to pay your tab. And
So I think it's good for the host too, but I do think like after, even like last night I was at the Broadway.
yeah,
It was like it was a crowd that wasn't laughing. So you almost like, that's why I started tagging things, because there's a lot
You
of
gotta
room
look around.
after the jokes.
Right,
I had
right.
space.
A lot of silence.
But it was getting those kind of laughs. It was like they were
Yeah.
really hard to pull, but they were kind of fun, and you could tell them they weren't a great crowd and they didn't mind. And so this one guy's just staring the whole time. I'm like, he can't be. He's got to be European. He
Right.
had this like a German
Vibe to him.
Nazi-used look, and I'm like, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "Still Canada." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So the other guy asked, "Where are you from?" All right,
fair enough.
I get it.
I get it. So sorry.
But, yeah, that was sort of on me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But-
So I don't know. I get why you want to do crowd work, and it's good when you're in New York too to get familiar with New York audiences as a comic, especially
Yeah.
if you're from the Midwest or something, or from California. You're
Yeah.
just not used to this crowd, this kind of attitude from a crowd, and so it's good to feel like you're.
Well,
one
I
of them.
followed Christian's 10 minutes of political stuff.
Yeah.
So they were a little shy when I got up. They
Yeah.
were a little sort of like, are we going to be asked to think all night long? And
Was he doing you like policy jokes about Hillary and stuff?
no, it was,
I
and it
wanna
was,
see it.
it was very, he was very gentle about it.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. He was
Yeah.
just talking about, and it was, and it had, he was trying to get to some smarter stuff.
Yeah.
But they were resistant.
Yeah.
And at one point he said something about, her ass or something.
Yeah.
Hillary's ass.
Yeah.
And then there was kind of a big laugh, and he said, I do that joke to find the sexists in the audience. And love it. And so I got up and I just start going into, my the weirdo set that I'm doing right now, trying to make everything work.
Yeah.
And they just were like staring at me. And so I'm like, when I get into that situation, I only have 12 minutes and
Yeah,
I've got to
right.
work on a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
So I probably did 20 minutes of material in 12 minutes.
Yes.
And they got quiet, so I started whispering. And I'm like, I just started whispering the jokes. And at the end, my Morse code joke, some guy called it. He knew that it was a Morse code joke.
Oh.
And so he said, like 2 beats before the end of the joke. It was kind of irritating. But if you get it, he wanted to show off to his friends that he knew where it was
of
going.
course.
But and I gave him the thumbs up when I was doing the Morse code thing.
Yeah.
And he said Morse code, so thumbs up. And so he ruined the laugh.
Yeah.
And it's the last laugh of the set. It's a bit of a fuck. But so
the ones who didn't get the joke and he hadn't ruined it, he didn't hear them, they laughed and
Yeah.
they got it. And then
Did you tell him you ruined the joke?
I said, not everybody knows that because none of the rest of us were in the Navy. And and then he looked like I had hit him
Yeah.
a little bit, and he goes, "Yeah, I was in the Navy." And I was like, "Yeah,
People do that to me when I do my Ayudar joke.
yeah."
They'll start shouting out, Ayúdame. It's like, yeah, fuckers, I know. I'm in the middle of a story. Let me get to the end of it, motherfuckers.
Yep, I'm trying-
Thank God I have another punchline after that.
Right. Well, that's
Jesus.
it. I got to write another punchline in case that happens, or it needs a tag anyway. Maybe I'll ask Mike Lawrence. We don't know. It's but the crazy. What was the? I was going to tell you about a guitar comic joke that I used to do, because here's what happened. So when I stopped drinking, I couldn't get laid.
Yeah.
I couldn't get laid. For 3 years I couldn't get laid.
Yeah.
Because the way I got laid was I would get drunk and then I would take my life into my own hands.
Yeah.
And then I would get laid. and it always worked out. I never got attacked. It was always
Yeah.
very nice. Everyone was very polite about the whole thing. But when I finally got laid, after I stopped drinking, I called a friend of mine because it had been so long.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, I got laid." And she said, "Was it safe sex?" And I said, "There's nothing safer than a guitar comic." And that's the end of that story. I needed to
like
tell
it.
that story for no reason. Well, because we're on a podcast.
What were we talking about, though? Right
We're talking about
before-
crowd work and
Christian-
New York comics and
Oh, so yeah. Did you had some kind of comment on that, or did you finish it?
I did. It was the guy in Colorado. He just
Oh, yeah.
It sounded like he went a little too much, but nothing.
You know what?
Not that bad.
It's every time you go in, it's hard to tell, and some
Yeah.
people are actually also some people aren't good at it.
Right. I mean, there's
Some
people that are
aren't
amazing at
good at massaging it, and it takes a long time to learn how to be good at it. And
it's a learned skill.
I know that. Yeah. So
I saw Ryan Stout a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
where he decided that he's going to, and the way he does his stand up, he's like, here's the joke, and then, oh, look at these 7 people that didn't get it. Let's talk to them. And it is really, you and Ryan Stout are kind of kindred souls.
I normally don't like it, but I like it when Ryan. Like most people don't do it that well. They get like you ever see people where they have a joke that's not that offensive, but they have 20 minutes on how it offended people, so they pretend
right.
like it offended people.
Right.
Oh,
So they
what?
set
it's
it
like,
up.
no, we got your joke. It was
Yeah,
fine. You
yeah.
don't have to follow it through. But Ryan actually does it really well, and yeah,
Yes.
I love watching that. Hi, honey. All right, bye. Okay.
And yeah, Ryan does it really well, and
Yeah.
he has this new line. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but and it's sort of it's not a callback so much as a through line.
Yeah.
So it is callback.
Okay,
But,
yeah.
But it was so beautiful, and he said it was the first time he tried it. It was at Comedy Magic Club a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
And the audience.
He tried something new at Comedy Magic.
Yeah.
That's ballsy.
Oh.
I've always
Oh,
felt
do you
like
always
they
go
can.
to the vault?
Yes, because or maybe a tag, but I always feel like they can tell when it's not a joke you've done 200 times.
Oh, fuck those people. Yeah,
No.
I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to work on new stuff.
No, I mean,
Especially a 5-minute anniversary set where I'm not getting paid except in salmon, and I've driven an hour and a half.
I always look at it as the TV practicing a TV set.
I did do that, but I did two sets that night. I
Yeah.
did the main room and then I did the lounge.
Yeah.
And so I tried the Conan set and then
Yeah.
I tried the other set.
Yeah.
And which I've gotten no response on, but fair enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because I got to try those 2 5-minute sets.
Yeah.
And they're 6-minute sets, so I
to
had
me,
to
that's
do them
why
fast.
that it has.
That's what that room is great for.
Yes. So I've learned I don't really try new stuff at Hermosa Beach.
But
that's why I was
Right, but if
saying
I'm
that's
not
very-
trying it, but if you're not working on a TV set,
I'm
you
always
might as
working.
well.
I'm always working on trying to put something together.
Are you?
Yes.
'Cause
I know I haven't
sometimes I
done
just-
a TV set in a long time, but
Me neither, but-
I what I'm hoping to do is get the special released and then
Right.
be able to have a set or two that I could do at least one on
promote
Conan,
it.
maybe to promote it. Yeah. So
Hey, who's our comic of the week?
Corey Kahaney.
Corey Kahaney.
We went New York since we're in New York.
We're in New York,
She's
and
she's
she is
a
wonderful.
very dear friend of mine.
Oh, good.
And she's been doing comedy as long as we have, maybe
Yep.
a little bit longer.
I've
And
known her for a long time as well.
This is why you just don't. You stay in the business. You like
Yeah.
you have ups and downs, and she's currently writing. She's on the up, another up.
Oh, she got a bump?
She's
Where's-
doing
what's she
America's
doing?
Got Talent, and she's
good.
keeps going on to the next round.
Oh, that's
And
awesome. I
she's
should watch television.
great, great joke writer. Really
Yes.
funny. When she started stand up, she was a single mom of a young child.
Okay.
And then she had another kid when, like me, she's an old mom like me where she had a kid after 40.
Yeah.
But she was also a young mom when she was like a teenager.
Right.
So she did both ends. And her
She
her
is
son's
fertile.
her son's like 2 years older than my son.
Okay.
But she started as a single mom and she
Yeah.
just kept going, and she's like, very respected in New York City. She's done Letterman. She's
Corey Kahaney's a great comic.
Corykahany.
Yeah.
Corey Kahaney, and she's on America's Got Talent right now. And her daughter just had a child, so she just became a grandmother.
Oh, wow. Because she had the daughter when she was young.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was-
yeah.
She was in her 20s or something.
No, I think earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was young. But anyway, I don't know. It's just really.
Yeah.
Like we're like, we're going to be aged out of this business, and we're paranoid and frantic. But there's just peaks and valleys,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's the way it goes. You plateau and then you.
anyway. So
Yeah.
Corey's had ups and downs. She was on like the first season of Last Comic Standing, where they all lived in a house. She and Rich Voss
Yep.
and Dat Fan and Dave Mordahl, and
Right.
was it Ralphie May on that one too?
No. Ralphie was a couple years.
Okay.
Wait. It might have been.
Yeah.
Because Mike Lawrence's last joke was about how and then the roast battle.
Yeah.
He said, you lost your family.
Yeah.
You lost
shit.
Yeah, he said
divorced.
Yeah, he did 2 divorce jokes, and Lana had told me some horrible things. Lana Turner was on the Dork Forest, and
Yeah.
she wanted to dork about the sort of the bad life choices that Ralphie has made. And I was like, that's not your dorkdom. We can't do that. That's not what the Dork Forest is. The Dork Forest is a positive space. Let us talk about how you got to go to
Hilarious.
Petra. And
Hey man, when you break up you're always pissed when you break up with the father of your children.
Right.
I had a year of pure fury and rage.
Yeah, I'll tell you
know?
off whatever.
Okay.
But so he said that he lost. Oh, because Ralphie said something, I guess, on the show. He said, you keep making hacky fat jokes.
Yeah.
And Mike Lawrence said, well, you've lost your family and you lost a Dat Fan. The only thing you haven't lost is your weight. Dude, you're like, burn. And so that was slightly brutal. So I did an XM Sirius show the other night.
Yeah.
The other day, Bennington. I don't know if you've ever
Nuh-uh.
done that one. It's really fun. This guy's really nice, and his name's Ron, and he's just a good egg, and he likes me.
Yeah.
And so I go on. I don't know I don't have XM Sirius, so I've
Yeah,
never
I don't
listened.
either.
And so I don't know who his audience is, but I remember I tweeted at you.
Yeah.
Because that guy got the last 4 minutes. This guy said that he liked.
That's what I call one of the Jackie mystery tweets, where I think you
I
think
tag
we've
you?
had a conversation about it, and I'm like, what the hell is she talking about?
Well, the reference is because this guy tweeted. He said, "I liked your whole appearance on the radio show except for the last 4 minutes."
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I tweeted back at him. So you liked 3/4 of my of the
Yes,
show,
yeah.
which is a reference to
Yes.
this program, which
Yeah.
is why I thought you would get
Yeah.
it.
No, when I went
And you did
back
at the
to the
time.
Benny, I was like, what's yeah, I figured it out.
Right,
Yeah.
you figured it out. So, but the last 4 minutes was the host of the show was like, "So what do you think about the election?" And I don't have any jokes about the election. All I have is sincerity.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So you're right, sir. It wasn't very funny. It was just me going, "Oh, the only person who's actually running for president. That's who I'm voting for."
Yeah.
And I don't want Mike Pence to be in charge of my miscarriages. So
I'd like to hand him my miscarriages in a blanket.
Right.
Here,
Why don't
take
you
care of
bury it?
Yeah.
And here's a pile of goo, and just gross. Anyway, but yeah, I've so much. I'm in such a better place than I was 2 weeks ago. Right.
Yeah.
Just I have a lot more energy, and I have
Yes.
a lot. But I've
The
also
gift of life. You've been given the gift of
I've
life.
been given the gift of life. Western medicine win because I'm all healthy and stuff. But
Yeah.
but there was also it's brought back my impatience with the humanity.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was a kid who walked me one of my sets in Montreal.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I'll walk you to," because I don't know. I get lost in New York all the time. I
Yeah.
have there's the compass in my brain is right next to a magnet.
Yeah.
And so I am always wrong.
Yeah.
And so I put a compass.
Well, it's not like it's laid out in a numbered grid.
Right.
so-
It's not like it's a numbered grid or anything. I've gotten lost in New York so bad that I've taken myself for a cup of coffee. I'm just like, I got to chill out and just sit down and have a cup of coffee. And, this kid took me and I was like, okay, he walked me to the venue.
Yeah.
And I said, so going back, I just go straight back down the street. And he looked at me and he was like, no, we turned twice. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just ask somebody else. And he goes, no, it's super easy. You just go this way. And then he started explaining it.
Yeah.
And I had to say to him, stop explaining. I'm not going to remember. And I'm so sorry. And he goes, okay, but it's really easy. You know when someone keeps
Yeah.
explaining after you ask them?
You telling me it's easy doesn't make it easy.
It
In
makes
fact,
me just
makes
feel
it harder.
It makes it harder. It makes
Yeah.
me feel like a maroon.
Yeah.
And so I had to actually do that thing where, have you ever had to look someone in the eye and go, "Stop talking, stop explaining"? And
You twice.
but not this episode. A win, right? Usually you're like, "Why are you interrupting me?" If I listened to this show, I could hear, because when I started editing The Dork Forest,
Yeah.
I started hearing me interrupt people's stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you asshole. I bet that would have been a great story if you wouldn't have just decided to tell something your dad said with fucking. But I want people to like me.
Yeah. Hey, I think
That's
deep
comedy.
down, that's what we all want.
That's all comedy is.
Even the people we walk.
I know.
We wish they
Right.
liked us.
So we're doing pretty good here. We're
we almost
sadly-
over? Oh, yay.
Well, we got another 10.
10?
Yeah. What do you got? You got anything?
Let's see. I'm sick of my act. Like I took your advice when
Yeah.
you said, let people know you love your mother. No one's buying it, by the way. No, I'm trying to
Sort of bookend it a little.
Maybe because I had like a run of like three really hard jokes, right?
Yeah.
And it was working well. And then I'm like, all right, let me add to it. Let's make it a run of 10 hard ones. And then it's people are like, oh my God, it's too much. So maybe I'll just pull back and just have that chunk be smaller until I could come up with something that's a little
You could mix
not
it
less,
up.
not less of a one liner, a little more of a story that kind of softens a little bit.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's a project for when I get back to LA because I feel like I really want to have great sets when I'm here because
Can I tell you that you're like a different person here? Really? Yeah. First of all, you're not living with your mom. Second of all, you
Yes.
are doing 3 sets a night in
Yeah.
New York, and you are just more relaxed.
Oh, yes,
you're
totally.
you're like happier. I don't know why I'm whispering it. I'm whispering it into a recording device. But it's great to see. It's really fun.
well, I am writing a little bit less this week because I have the
Oh,
old
boy.
fucking ball and chain with me all the time,
You get the tiny ball and chain that
Yeah.
you got to show the world to.
and so I
You
can't.
guys ever do the Staten Island Ferry?
We did a ferry 2 days ago.
Okay.
Oh, we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And then we took a ferry back.
Oh, okay.
And it was really cool.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a thing to do. It's a fun thing to do.
What kind of ferry goes to Brooklyn? The Brooklyn Ferry, probably?
There's like a water taxi that goes all day
Oh.
long. It's like for people that don't want to take
Is it-
the
I
the
wanna-
train. Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Is it you just walk across the Brooklyn Bridge and
you
then
walk
you
across
look
the
around?
bridge? Yeah, I mean it
For
takes
a water
little while.
taxi?
Yeah, then you curl around and go back to the pier, I guess. And there's a water taxi that leaves every hour. It's not the same as a train. It's not the same, it's once an hour. It's not.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't run every 6 minutes.
something.
And is it expensive or?
It's like $6.
Oh my God!
But
why
it
have I
also
never done
also
this?
stops at 3 other docks,
Yeah.
I guess, or 3 other piers in Brooklyn before it heads over. So you get a nice little ride, and you get to
Yeah.
see the city, and it's like I'm sure doing one of those touristy ones, but it's
I usually
they don't
take the
have
Staten Island
champagne.
Ferry for free.
I haven't done that ever.
The first time I was here, I took it, and I got off because I didn't know that I don't think I realized that it went to Staten Island, that it
Yeah.
wasn't just a round trip.
Oh.
And it was before, it was 50 cents the first time
Yeah.
I took it, and now it's free. But I got off at Staten Island, and I walk up the hill,
Yeah.
and I go, and I'm looking around, and there's a cop, and I go, hey, where's the subway? And he had a golden opportunity
Oh, my
for New York
God.
sarcasm.
Yeah.
Because he goes, let me tell you what you do. You get on that ferry and you go back to Manhattan where they have a subway system.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh, the hilarity. And and then, but I usually like to take the Staten Island because I like the view. It's amazing.
Yeah, we got to do that. We
And
did.
you go by the Statue of Liberty, and
Yeah.
you can see, you know,
Oh, maybe we'll do that. We did.
because I've never been to the island where the Statue of Liberty because I don't want to.
Yeah,
care.
it seems awful. We did
I don't
the.
care. I just want to look at the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, we did the. We went to the Empire State Building last night. My kid
At
and I.
night?
After Gotham. It was like 11:30 or 11 o'clock.
Can you go to the top?
You can go to
at
the
night?
top till 2 a.m. And it's a really cool. It was a clear night, beautiful. I mean, it's mobbed. It's
It's really popular.
yeah.
Late
I mean,
at
it's summertime. I
right.
bet during the winter when it's cold, it's
Yeah.
a lot less people. I'd like to do it
Is there an
again.
outdoor?
Yeah, you can go outdoors and stick your hand out, and your
Oh my
hand's
God.
sticking out over the it's
Over the
through,
world?
It's through a fence, you know.
Yeah,
and
because they don't want anyone to jump.
yeah,
yeah.
It's unjumpable. It's the fence curls over. It's like you're in Auschwitz in a way.
Oh.
there's no escaping. Work will set
freedom.
you free.
The freedom that is America. Welcome to the
But
top.
it's beautiful, and then
And it's like $25 to get up there, right?
it's expensive. It was 64 for us.
Okay, so $30
up.
each.
Yeah,
But because the first time I ever went to the Empire State Building, I just took an elevator to the top.
Yeah.
And I was wandering around, and then there was like a door guy, or there was a security guard, and he was like, "What are you looking for?" And I said, "A window." And he goes, "Yeah, go back down and pay them $20."
Oh, you went
And
up
that-
like
in
the
the 80s.
business
Yeah, the
part,
first
okay.
time I was ever in New York,
Oh.
I was constantly trying to
It's
save the twig.
pre-9/11, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, 1984, or 88.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was-
that's pre sleepless. Not sleepless. What was it? You've Got Mail, where they met on the top of the Empire
I
State
thought it was
Building.
Sleepless in Seattle,
No, because that's in Seattle. Why would they meet?
but they met in New York,
Yeah.
and
Hey, honey. Oh, sorry, we're being interrupted by a goblin. Oh, you need some. Okay.
well, do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
I say,
Yeah, get some toilet paper.
okay.
What are you doing? Oh, okay. Can you do it
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom, please.
There you go.
Oh no, Mia's showering. Go into the bedroom. Thank you.
Oh yeah, don't go in the bathroom now. Mia's showering.
Poor
Yeah.
Mia.
Right.
I'm
all
like,
week.
I'm sorry, but and she also she works on a show, and she's on her hiatus right now, and
Oh, so she's
we're
trying to
here
be on vacation.
She's trying to be on vacation, and we're here. But she's very
But
cool.
you take them out. You
Yeah,
take them
I
out
take
of the
'em-
town.
I try to get them out.
Yeah.
And we mostly. Well, this is the first time I've sat on the couch. We're always in my bedroom,
Okay.
24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In fact, yesterday I bought a chair for you to sit in because I thought we'd do it in there, but she said no, you could
Well, that's
podcast
nice.
in the living room.
Oh, nice. It's my hotel. I'm staying over on 43rd and 2nd Avenue
Yeah.
at a Hampton Inn. Very glamorous. Free cup of waffle in the morning, which I've never wanted. But what I do like is the offer.
Free,
And
yes. I like the ability to turn it down.
Right, I
and
like
get
the,
your own breakfast.
You know what I do like that they actually did. I had a tiny like weird Hampton Inn omelet.
Yeah.
they make these like tiny omelets,
Yeah.
and so I had that for breakfast, which was nice. But I like it when there's hard boiled eggs. I was just like, just get me a hard boiled egg.
You know,
It'll be fine.
7-Eleven sells hard boiled eggs.
New York, you can buy them almost on the street. There's
Yeah.
loose eggs. Just a guy with a coat that he opens up and goes, "What do you need?" I am loving hearing people's conversations, by the way, on the phone.
Yeah.
I was walking over on the east side yesterday, and there was a woman just walking down the street she said, "Both those people are ugly." That's what I heard. It was my favorite overhear of the day.
And she's East Side, so she she was right. those judgmental bitches.
The other thing I did in New York, I did a very New York thing. I went to
Yeah.
Macy's, and if you take your out-of-state ID to
Yeah.
the visitor center, you get a 10% off coupon for everything.
Oh, cool! Wow,
10% off everything. So I bought a couple of pairs of jeans because I accidentally bought these sparkle pants a couple
Yeah.
of years ago. They have sparkles on the ass, like
Oh,
bejeweled.
That's not you.
No, it's a very mom jean in a caricature kind of way.
Hold on, I got to get it. If
You
it's
got to
mom
get in on
jeans,
that.
I got to get it.
But how did I buy? It was not me. Did I not look at the back of the jeans that I purchased?
Why would anyone look at the back of the?
I guess.
Don't you just expect them not to have sparkles on them? Who
That's
fucking
my
puts
default. That is definitely my default.
sparkles on denim?
It's, I don't know, Henry Winkler. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to doing more sets this week, and then I go back on Sunday. When do you go back?
We go back on Saturday.
You go back on Saturday.
And then just an update. I'm like starting to slow down. The other thing I try to tell myself is like, or if I'm not doing any new stuff, I want to at least tell old stuff and slow it down.
Oh, that's a great.
You start going, oh, this thing. Okay, you're on autopilot.
Yeah,
and you like maybe there's a new way to tell it, or there's a
rhythm.
A new rhythm, a new tag. Maybe it's just waiting for you to slow down a little bit. So I've been like, all right, I'm telling older stuff or stuff I've done before, but the stuff I know works. Put it that way. But let me just kind of slow it down and see if there's another laugh here, or maybe if I hit a different word and
right.
And
that's a great idea.
Yeah. So, and I have some newer stuff that's not solid yet. Like it's a little shakier. And it's that new abortion thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been the first couple of times I rushed through it. And I'm like, okay, I think it's working.
I've said all the words in a row.
Yes. So now I'm like, all right, I'm going to stand here. I'm going to take it. You know? So I do the first one. It's kind of gets... If I really, it's like sticking the landing. I tell it, and I just look at the audience.
Yep. Did you get it?
The laugh starts. It's not an immediate laugh because they have to go backwards and think he's dark. In tone.
Right.
So it takes them a second, and then they have to want to laugh at that. But then if they don't,
they have to want to.
Then the next joke is another joke that it's more accessible, but it's less accessible. And then when it doesn't work, but I have to stand there and let it not work.
That's gutsy stuff. I love
that.
And
then I go, guys, it's my son's favorite joke. And that now, if I stand there and take the two punches of silence or that sort of modeled laugh, then the third one gets everyone back. Like it does work.
Okay.
But I still need to practice.
That is admirable to sit in the silence.
Stance. It's not pure silence.
No.
It's like 30 to 50% of the room is in it, and the other 50% is when I was doing it as a rape joke, it was 10-90. And now it's 40 on,
well
60
played.
off.
Well played.
And then as long as I can turn it to like 80 on by the third one, then I'm okay.
Right. I bet 85.
And then I go into a very easy Ayudar joke that everyone can get behind.
Yes, everyone can get behind that. Drowning your son. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's an excellent. Maybe I'll try. The number one criticism I get is that I talk too fast, and so I'm having. A couple of weeks ago, for about a month and a half, I was having memory problems, which had screwed up my timing anyway. So
do you know why?
Well, I think I was bleeding to death. And so, remember? I was bleeding to death.
I didn't know that affected your memory.
Well, I wasn't telling anyone. So, because it's back. Like, I can stick the landing on all the jokes. And so I'm back to talking faster.
That's troubling.
Oh, it was troubling. Let me just say that. It was
That's the one thing you got to have is your memory.
I'm going to need my brain. I'm going to need my brain and my talk.
Everything, but you got to have your brain.
The joke, my joke hole has got to work.
Yes. So the other holes can shut down completely,
the other holes,
but the joke hole's got to work.
Screw those holes. And wait, no. And that's the other
Don't say
thing.
literally.
Don't say literally. Exactly. And I'm not allowed. Anyway, so but the. So it was hard with the memory. So I had slowed down because I had to actually search my brain for the next line.
Whoa.
Yes. And it was almost that. But maybe I'll do it on purpose this time and watch how that works, because it is the number one thing. From my father to Jimmy Brogan to everyone and their grandmother. Yeah. They would like me to slow the fuck down and let people laugh at each joke. Yeah. And and if I gave them that chance. But sometimes, especially showcasey kind of shows, you're like, I talk slower when I have the long set.
Right.
Because I have the long set. I could Chappelle this out. I could go 6 hours. But with a 12-minute set, I'm like, oh, I got 15 minutes worth of jokes to do.
Me too. I'm slamming it.
Come on, you
Yeah.
have the rest of your lives to laugh at these things. I have 12 minutes. I'm going to get a light. any minute.
I'm in that habit too.
I made a
and,
mistake last night at the stand where I didn't write a set list, and
Yeah.
so I just got up and then I got turned around a little bit, and I didn't tape it. I should, but I already have I have 7 sets that I haven't listened to on my phone.
Oh God, you think it's bad in LA? You do a week in New York. If you don't listen, you'll have like 22 sets.
22 sets that I haven't listened to, and I'm
Can't
like,
do it.
well, I'm just going to bail, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
Are we out?
we're out.
Yeah, you have stuff to do, right?
I gotta go meet a friend of mine from college for lunch, and then my brother is clearly in town, and he's in town. His sons are altar boys, and they are going to become deacons or something in the Armenian church.
That
and I gotta
reminds
go.
me of it. If someone's I had an altar boy joke that was sort of hacky, but a less hacky version of. But I can't remember. I just remember me going, "Run for your life!" Me secretly,
Right.
distracting
I don't know why.
a priest.
Yeah, there's no reason why Armenian churches are not poking people.
Are
with it.
the priests allowed to get married?
There's 2 different kinds of priests in the Armenian church. You can get married, you can not get married, but only the unmarried priests can become the Armenian Pope, which is the Catholicos in the holy city of Echmiadzin, which is the funnest words to say out loud.
All right, let's end this
Catholicos
podcast right now.
in the holy city of Echmiadzin. See you later.
Too many syllables.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.